Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, and we're at the first day of July 2024, the beginning of a new quarter. Time's about 5:50 p.m. Central Time, and by now you know the big event of the day was the Supreme Court decision on President Trump. Now, there were other decisions too about credit cards, social media, so on, but they've been lost in the event of the day. And the event of the day is pretty simple, actually, but complicated at the same time. Because what the court said is that a sitting president is immune as long as they're doing official business. The definition is what is official business. And that will be thrown back to the lower court. This guarantees, in my opinion, there's no way they can go all through this in the amount of time before the election with appeals, with meetings that'll happen. So I'm pretty certain that you will not get a court proceeding on this until the election has come and gone. So I would view this as a win for President Trump in the sense that he bought more time. Will there be some parts of this that'll probably end up being tried? Don't know. Because once if he were to win the presidency, he can instruct the Department of Justice to drop the case and/or maybe a presidential pardon for himself. I mean, this is a pretty wild event. But it's certainly been a bad couple of days for the Biden team after the debate and seeing this today. So Jack Smith has to go back and figure out what he's going to do. But there's more. We're getting a lot of economic data. Remember, it's a shortened week. I want to remind you, it is the July 4th holiday coming up. So before I go into everything, my sale for July 4th is now. And if you'll notice, these numbers keep coming down on the sale. Take advantage. Next sale won't be this big probably. So 35% off any of my charting courses or a one-year subscription to my research. Pretty simple, a great way to come back. If you had the research, you want to come back in now, this is the way to do it. You go to iraepstein.com under either courses or research. Once you see what you want, you click it, it'll go into your cart, so to speak. And when you do that, that's when the discount will show. So when you first look at it, you see the retail price, but that when it comes in the cart, it's already there with the discount, everything for you, and you can see how that works out. Again, iraepstein.com, or anytime during this video, you can give a click up here, and there'll be an icon, it'll take you there as well. So let's take a look at the news for tomorrow. We get Redbook Group with updating their weekly U.S. retail sales data. Now, these numbers have been falling each week. For a while, they were 4.5%, 5.5%, went even over 6%. Now they're on the other side of this as the consumer is yanking back. And they're yanking back as their credit cards are getting hit with big balances, as prices have gone up on inflation. We're now seeing that goods, many areas, it can be the Walgreens, the Boots Walgreens that are having problems, CVS's, grocery stores. It's all over. The consumer's being very selective in what they're buying, not buying as many things as they don't need, and spending their, if you will, disposable income differently. And we'll see that probably show up. Then we get the all-important JOLTS number. And this will be released Tuesday around 9. Last month they had it at the end of April. The openings were about 8 million. Will it come in under that number? This is a number that keeps slipping down. It's still a good number. It shows that you can get jobs. But I think just cracking 8 million will be viewed by the market as looking as, this is getting tight. API stockpiles will come out tomorrow afternoon. And that'll be at 3:30. And then in the morning, we have Federal Reserve Chair Powell at the European Central Bank Forum on central banking in Sintra, Portugal. So you're going to want to see that because he'll be asked questions about where they're at. Certainly, you're seeing in the central banks, the other central banks in Europe are cutting rates at this point. We aren't. What does that mean? Will he be asked questions about it? You want to get an idea on that. I think it's going to be very, very important as we look at it. So let's come back, if we could, to the charts. And as you can see, crude, you're near $87 now, but this is September. Remember, August went off the board on Friday. In August crude, and you can keep that one, that's still where the volume is, the differential's about $3 between the two, 3.5. You broke pretty hard today in bonds and notes. You almost went up near, what, 4.46 in the 10-year notes. You're getting a little bounce tonight, but that's still pretty important. In the stock indices, to me, they're still acting like they want to top out a bit. You lost the bearish embedded reading, and you'll see that in the copper market. You have to get it back tomorrow if you want to keep it. And you lost the bearish reading in the euro currency. So coming into all this, now different events are starting to happen, get very interesting. In the gold market, the question, of course, is will prices come down to the 18-week moving average of closes or elect to hold and just stay above it? Look at the chop action you've had here. You try to break out up, you failed. You tried coming down last week, you failed, and you've come right back in here. This is how you get burned in these markets right in front of holidays, and it's what's happening now. You have the higher high, lower low pattern. The market is fighting right at the 18-day average of closes. The Bollinger top and bottom, as you can see, they're very close to this 18-day average. Not total sideways action, but tracking it in an interesting fashion. Could you get another buy signal in gold? Well, if you were to get over 23.50.60, you'd certainly have higher lows and a higher high. I'm assuming you didn't take out today's lows first. Don't know. Then when we look at momentum, it had been oversold down here, which ties in with this break, and now the market has corrected it. A difficult market right here. Now we're looking at gold-silver ratio, and suddenly you can see the market's tiring of gold gaining on silver. Will it be able to run back to the 18-day average at 78.29 and fight a battle against that? In the silver market, it's a bit clearer of a picture than gold if you can get over 29.95.5 and close over the 18-day average. Let's call it tonight, it's 29.89.5. That would throw the market into a pattern of higher lows, higher highs. Who is controlling the market at this moment? Actually, no one. While you have lower highs, you have higher lows. So you've got a market that's narrowing in just like that at this point. In the copper market, I can tell you that today was a day where I thought worthwhile to sell the market last night if you were going to get a rally. This is Friday's close. But if you lose the embedded reading, skedaddle. And the reason is you can probably get back up near that 447 level or wherever the 18-day average is going to come in. Even tonight, as you're backing off a bit, you still have a 26 reading. So this was money as far as I can see that the smart shorts tried to rally today, didn't work, and they probably ran away from the market. In the platinum market, you've had this vertical price rise, you've now broken back, and you're fighting at the 18-day average void of a trend, a higher high, a lower low pattern. You had gotten overbought and you corrected. And the market that is still bullish is the dollar. It's got the embedded reading, and I know you'll say, well, look, it broke pretty hard today. Yes, it did, but it didn't lose that reading. And all it need do is take out and keep near today's close and go higher from there. And as long as you keep that, you could be making your move back to the 106 area. If the market wanted to get crazy and extend, and if you get price counts, one of the features that we offer in our free products at Linn for you to see what they are, you can get to the 106, you can get to the 110 area if you get to what we call a rare fourth price count. Interesting time for that market. We'll see what happens there on it. But I think you're at a very, very important stage in this marketplace right now. And you're at an important stage because with the holiday, you'll be surprised how fast the sale gets by you. I had people after the last one, will you honor, I was out of town, I couldn't do it. We don't do that. So if you want this, this is how you come in. 35% off any one-year subscription, 35% off the courses. The courses start when you want them to start. You can give them as a gift. Great gift, 4th of July, upcoming other holidays. Whenever you want to start it, you start it. It includes the charting software, the courses. You get access to all my research for a couple of weeks. The same with the spider research, that's thrown in. So it's a neat way to learn the different charting parts that we have. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good evening. I'll catch up with you in the morning.